In the month of December, you always hear about coaches on the hot seat, the coaches that might be fired at the end of the season. But here at Pro Football Weekly, let's get a little more positive in our game time decision. Which NFL head coach has done the most impressive job in 2012? And Eric, usually when we talk about Coach of the Year candidates, a lot of those coaches, Belichick, Harbaugh, I mean, their teams are doing what they're supposed to be doing. McCarthy, Kubiak, but it's always guys that surprise you with what they have. And I think, I know your pick for this is one that's really surprised everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. Well, first of all, Bruce Arians wasn't a head coach to start the season. He was the offensive coordinator, and persona non grata in Pittsburgh. I mean, he kind of left that job under a lot of questions about whether he was pushed out the door, or whether he went on his own volition. He ends up in Indianapolis, couldn't end up in a better situation. Works with Andrew Luck, helps this team get into a postseason position. The Colts, I mean, I wrote before the season, if they win more than 6 games, it's going to be a stunning surprise. The fact they've done it with Chuck Pagano on the mend from leukemia, Arians steps in, does a masterful job with this team. He's probably going to be Coach of the Year. That's no doubt about it, I think.
Yeah, the Colts have really surprised everyone, and it hasn't just been Andrew Luck. And you look around, the supporting cast is not great. And it's filled with rookies, too. You look on the offensive and defensive sides of the football, and stars for them have stepped up in terms of Reggie Wayne. But for Arians to come in, all things considered, and coach the way they have and get this team one win away from the playoffs is just remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think Ryan Grigson, the GM, deserves a lot of credit, too. I mean, he started at the bottom of this roster. He knew he was going to get Andrew Luck. That wasn't even his pick. That was an ownership pick. But every other choice along the way, a lot on offense, too. There were some questions about whether they should have gone more defensively heavy. But the way that they've molded this team together, the front office with Grigson, the coaching staff with Pagano and Arians and everybody else there, it's been impressive as heck. I would also throw out Mike McCarthy. I think he's been a tremendous coach. He's kept the team steady. They've got talent, but everything they've gone through early in the season, he's done a terrific job.
Yeah, that Packers team's been riddled with injuries all year. I mean, think about Charles Woodson's been out, Clay Matthews has been out for a while, Greg Jennings, Jermichael Finley not having a good year. Almost every running back on that team has been hurt at some point, and the Packers are right there. A coach that was mano-a-mano with McCarthy, Pete Carroll. I know he's a very polarizing coach, but what the Seahawks have done this year with he makes the gutsy decision to have Russell Wilson be the starting quarterback. The defense has been great. Russell Wilson's been phenomenal. So Carroll, I think, deserves a little credit as well.
Yeah, and so does his defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley. I would think he's going to be in line for a head coaching job, if not this year, then next year. I mean, that defense, I think, is really the heart and soul of the team. Russell Wilson's been great. You don't expect a third-round quarterback to come in and play the way he has. Marshawn Lynch doing his thing. But you're right. There are some flaws in this team, and Carroll's helped bring it all together.
One other coach I'll throw out there, a team's not going to make the playoffs. He was my midseason coach of the year pick, and that's Joe Philbin. I know Miami Dolphins are going to end up having, whether it's a 6-10, 7-9, maybe 8-8 season. But when you watched Hard Knocks, and you talked about this team in August, and knew Ryan Tannehill was starting. I don't think anybody predicted maybe more than 4 wins for this team. And they left a lot of points in the field in some of their early games. I think he's done a very impressive job, all things considered, with that roster in his first season.
I'm with you. Watching Hard Knocks, I thought this is one of the worst rosters in football. They've done a nice job. They're looking like a team that you could have to watch in 2013.
So the list of coaches that have disappointed in 2012 is much longer than the ones that have impressed. But we're curious, do you agree about Arians, McCarthy, Carroll? Which coaches impressed you most in 2012? Let us know in our comment section on YouTube, and head to our website at profootballweekly.com.